Greetings and salutations. I'm dying because we're eating spicy noodles during this.
Hi, and I'm dying too for completely different reasons, but also the same because I took some of what, you want to tell them what you got?
I got Chinese food before this. It's delicious, by the way. It's like really good. I was on the train and I hadn't eaten before this, and I just wanted something to eat, so I picked up some Chinese food and then we started eating in the living room, and all of a sudden it just was like, oh shit.
You got the million Scoville unit Chinese food.
It's good, but
I'm not saying I don't dig spicy, but that stuff. Ooh, I licked the fork. I didn't even try any, and I was like that. Oh, milk.
So throughout this entire episode, I'm gonna be attempting to give coherent speeches and conversations while consuming, because I'm still hungry. So, and I gotta eat.
And I am sick. I had been coughing all week, and I'm very weak from all this throwing up and just working, and then going home and just working off this cough. I hate being sick. It's horrible. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish it on you either.
Thank you.
I hope you don't get sick from.
I'm sorry.
Right next to me.
I'm sorry you're going through that. Would you say you're having trouble trying to sleep?
Yeah, very funny. Yeah, I got that reference.
You see, it's funny because he's wearing an Insomniac shirt right now. You guys can't see it, but I can.
I'm wearing an Insomniac shirt, yeah. I wear the best shirts. Every time I go places, people compliment my shirts. I was wearing a Rock Lee shirt the other day, and some bank teller was like, I love your shirt, man. And I was wearing a Dennis Rodman shirt, and I went to a Chinese restaurant, and this Chinese restaurant dude was like, I love that guy. And he was like, man, I wear the right shirts at the right times, man.
So just keep in mind, if you compliment a guy walking down the street, a shirt, that's East Bay Al. I don't care who it is. That it's just East Bay Al now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I wear a surprise privilege shirt, but I always get like, hey, go fuck yourself.
You stupid.
Yeah, so I don't really like wearing that anymore. But anyways, we got a couple more to talk about today. Yeah. It's always fun with TBBAM, two badass bros bitch about music.
Yay!
TBBAM. We're at the TBBAM show. That's all we do. We just bitch about music. We don't even have a we didn't even know what we were talking about like 30 minutes ago, but now we do.
Yeah.
Because we're just that off the cuff.
We're just that dope, you guys.
Just random. We'll be talking about punk rock movies next week.
Hell yeah.
Like The Green Room with Patrick Stewart. Don't sing what's the song?
Nazi punks fuck off.
Nazi punks fuck off in Nazi country and then get locked in a basement. With Nazis.
Word of advice. If you're a punk band in either Tennessee or Mississippi, fucking move. Just move.
That movie is great, by the way.
It actually is a great movie. And also, maybe don't move, because I think it's probably better. I think for punk to spread, it's got to like stay there. But
yeah, well, Nazi punks fuck off at like either way. Who cares? Like music is about feeling, but it's also about movement. You have to move, social progress. It's literally the spearhead of the revolution. Punk rock has always been the thing that people, just like when they banned Frankenchrist, Kennedy's record, when they started when John Lennon said, we're bigger than Jesus, and all those inbreds in Arkansas burned Beatles records.
Oh my God,
music has that power. And I challenge all of you motherfuckers to do that exact same thing in the exact same way. Because those guys, they were just you, but a million years ago. I'm talking to all of you watching this. I'm talking to all of you with bands. Just make some fucking moves, man. Just make some wrestling heel movements.
Even if you sound like shit. Fucking sound like shit. Do it with pride.
Go out there. Steal some steal some audio clips from a news organization and take over CNN, take over Fox and all that crap. Take it over. You are the voice. Okay.
You are.
Get off my fucking soapbox now.
But, and recent news before we get started, in terms of bands, we're going to plug some stuff because, yeah. Closet Monsters had a show, Stay Gold.
I saw that.
Tuesday, yeah.
Closet Monster had a show. It was badass.
It was. I got socked in the face.
Eating a sandwich?
Not while eating a sandwich. What happened was, the pit was going insane,
as it does.
And one guy just went, he got shoved like really hard, but he was like swinging his fists around, so he fell right into me. He said sorry, but then he was like sorry, and then he immediately went back into the pit.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, all right, and my lip got busted up.
What a punk.
But show was nice. It was a good little show. But in news of Closet Monster, my last performance as the permanent lead guitarist for Closet Monster is actually going to be April 28th, which is also going to be the first show for Circus, and it's a fucking stacked lineup. Third and Army Skate Park, San Francisco. We got Circus, Borax, Jellyfish Method, Cascade, Closet Monster, Van Gogh's Ear. It's going to be great. And, yeah.
The Third and Army Park, that's like public utility at this point.
It really is.
Show up and just do anything. Like, nobody finds you or, tows your car away if you park in the red zones.
Dude, it's so weird. I don't know why we don't do more shows there.
Well, they do. I mean, everyone does that. I mean, over the course of these last 2 years, that's been, the hottest place. That's been, where everyone goes, where all the opening bands go to, start out. It's like, hey, let's play a show at a Third and Army.
The cops have never showed up there. I swear.
Well, yeah, and, the ones that do is just like, oh, cool, a show. Let's go munch some donuts.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they don't bother us. It's crazy. Those initial shows, I imagine they were, nerve-wracking, because, you don't know, the first time you go there. It's like, oh, man, this could be, shut down immediately. But, yeah, in 2 years, nobody has even batted an eyelash. And, people walk in and out of that, the other side of the fence. Yeah. They see that we play shows here, but, they don't do shit.
They don't. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But,
so now it's everyone goes there.
But yeah, so those are some fun things coming up. We have a project in the works right now. We don't know what it's going to be.
That's not this, because this is a project too.
Exactly, but what did we call it? I don't think we called it anything yet.
No, we haven't called it anything. It's still in the.
We're gonna be making music.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing something.
And I think that's all the things we needed to plug, right?
All right, I'm East Bay Owl. He's Garrett.
Ding.
This is TBBAM.
This is TBBAM.
What are we talking about now? What are we talking about this week?
This week is going to be one of my favorite subjects, virtuistic players. Specifically, we're going to be talking about some of the best bass players and guitar players, specifically within the realm of rock and roll.
Ooh, bass. I like it.
One would even say it's based.
Yeah.
I relinquish my time. That's the end. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.
That was a good joke. I applaud that. Maybe a great
terrible
dad one day, punning all these punny things that you're saying. Let's talk about bass. The bass guitar. It has 4 strings, sometimes 5 if you're elitist.
Or if your name is Xander Eakin.
Yeah. But, yeah, the bass guitar is a rhythmic instrument that, steadies everything and makes it sound crispy and more heavy than it, often, usually played by a meathead.
Yeah.
Who can get girls just on the drop of a dime, or or guys, either either sex can play the bass guitar. It doesn't matter, man.
Exactly. I think the bass is often overlooked in a lot of rock music, which kind of sucks because it's very vital, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
And it's very vital in the world of punk and metal. Very, very vital. I don't think a lot of people... Well, no, actually, that's bullshit. A lot of people do, but I don't think like the average listener would realize the importance of the bass.
Well, what it is it's the bridge between two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the drums are just noise, but it gets shepherded to the guitarist's riffs through the bass guitar, and through that, the three of them work in unique and miraculous harmony.
It does,
and it tickles the cockles of my eardrums every time I talk about it. Every time I hear it, it's a new spiritual experience every time. That's what music does.
Mm-hmm.
Penetrates your eardrums. Like, take me to Flavortown.
I couldn't agree more. I think the bass is, besides the drums, which in my opinion are most important in the world of that
kind
of music. Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
The bass can either do two things. The main thing is move the song along its path, like in a not a straight line, but in a line that makes sense. Like if you were just playing with just drums and guitar, which can work. I've seen it work. I feel like a lot of times though, it just becomes kind of turns into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that bass, you just let it ride, and you get to ride with it. It's a really good experience. Or
like a low rider with the top down.
The bass could do that, but also add its own kind of, like an example would be Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That guy never has like a clear bass line through and through. I mean, it's obvious like what chords he's going back to, but every time he's just like riffing on a bunch of other things. So that's another thing they can do. Or even like Cliff Burton from Metallica.
Rest his soul.
Yes. So
such a random way of dying.
Exactly. How did he die?
He died in Sweden because a drunk tour bus driver hit a patch of ice.
Oh my god.
And he was positioned just so that he got thrown out the window, and the bus was in free fall and was tumbling, and it ran him over.
Oh my god.
It was so random and
tragic.
It was just, yeah, it was unbelievably unlucky and just tragic, and yeah.
Oh my god.
You hate to see it.
Well, you do.
Hell of a bass player.
Absolutely.
Cliff Burton had the best hair of any bass guitarist I know.
He's the only guy I know who could kind of rock like the Wolverine kind of sideburns.
Yeah.
Only dude I know who could ever pull. I didn't personally know him, but like seeing photos of him, he's like the only dude I can think of who could pull that off.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite bass players?
Okay, well, you can't bring up the bass guitar without my boy Les Claypool. This dude is absolutely the best bass player of all time, in my humble opinion. I mean, how can he not be? He did fucking South Park, okay?
Yeah, Tom the Cat.
He did fucking South Park.
Yeah.
What is Primus? I don't even know. Just from the South Park TV show, he's the greatest. Well, but yeah, in any case, this dude, I mean, he's thrash funk, right? He's thrash funk, and he doesn't even use a pick. So like, you know, the way he plays the bass guitar is not even. It's like he has three hands. I don't even like. If you were to like spend your whole life like emulating how he plays the bass, you still wouldn't really get it. You still wouldn't really have anything on this guy. He's just, yeah, and like I don't even care if you like if you don't like Primus, you don't like any of the stuff that he does. Like the talent is there. Like, you can't deny the talent that this dude has. It's unfathomable. The way he... like, just go on YouTube and search in Les Claypool bass solo, and he'll give you, like... he'll give you shredding, like Jimi Hendrix on the guitar. But,
it's insane.
But on bass.
I remember the first time I saw a video of Les Claypool was actually at the... they filmed the South Park 25th anniversary concert.
Yeah.
And Primus played a few songs. And opened with Here Come the Bastards. And, dude, he was like... Though you could just watch, just not even, like, the solos. You watch him strum. Like, it's unlike any other bass player you think. You think... he's got the slap down, absolutely, but...
Oh, yeah, he does.
The way he, like, braises his knuckles and, like, kind of flicks the strings... Like it's almost like he's strumming like a chords on a guitar, but it's fucking insane because his hands are moving in different directions. It's so cool. So I 100% agree with you that he is one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, and like his, and also like, have you heard of he speaking of Metallica, like Metallica auditioned. Because Kirk Hammett and Les went to school together, and Kirk was like, "Hey, you should audition for my band. We need and he did. And James Hetfield, he was like, "No, you're too good for this band. You don't fit in at all. You're actually like really fucking good." And like that, and Les was like, "Okay," and then he packed up his bass guitar. Like that's a great. That's a great, like, audition. Being so good that they just can't take you.
That is.
Like, imagine, like, auditioning for a TV show and acting so good that they, like, man, we'd like to, but you're just too good. You can't, you fit all of this. We can't do it. Sorry. You're just too, that's literally what Metallica said.
God damn.
Like, you're so good, we just can't take you. Sorry. We're going with Jason Newsted instead. Or now they have Robert Trujillo.
It's Robert Trujillo.
Robert Trujillo is good.
First one was Cliff Burton. Then it was Jason Newsted.
Yeah.
And then it was Robert Trujillo.
Robert Trujillo with his... Yeah, oh, and that brings me to another one. All these bass players have, like, unique, like... The best ones have, like, unique, like, ways they play the bass. You know what I mean? Like, Robert Trujillo, like, gets really down and dirty.
Oh, yeah, he got
crab walk.
He's got the squat.
Yeah, he's got the squat, right? Chris Novoselic from Nirvana, he had that pelvic thrust that he did. You notice that?
Yeah, he had what I call
every time he was in the groove, when he was in the zone, Chris Novoselic would always like pelvic thrust the bass.
There's also the
every time he was playing like heart-shaped box or something.
It's
hilarious, actually. It kind of puts him on like my top 20. Just for that.
Just for the thrust.
Just for the pelvic thrust.
Absolutely. I know that, like...
Good technique, too. Yeah. Technique.
Also, dude, he wore that shit low.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
Like,
he really
lower than Cody, and, like, Cody is, like... Yeah. He wears that all the way down to his feet.
Chris Novoselic is a really tall guy.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, having it...
Cody is small.
And Cody is really small. Like, having it be, like... really like low kind of made an impression. Like, yeah, it kind of he was yeah. Who else?
Geddy
Lee, yeah,
absolutely. I am also
Rush.
I think all of the members of Rush you can put on like a top 10 just musicians list, like Neil Peart being one of the best drummers ever. Alex Lifeson being probably the most criminally underrated guitarist in rock and roll, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. That guy can shred, and I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves, but Geddy Lee is... I think he does get that recognition because, rightfully so, he is... One, in my opinion, I know a lot of people don't like his vocals. I think they're great. I think his vocals are one of a kind, really unique, and I love that, but... Dude, the bass on Rush songs just... You wouldn't... I feel like it just wouldn't be the same if you just play it because they're so good. Best examples would be Xanadu. If you just if it was in the Xanadu, where the bridge right before it goes into the actual words, he is just, you've listened, he's popping off. It's so cool.
Well, the way I see it, the bass player for Neil Peart is like up there, because like in order to like keep up with that guy, you have to be like incredibly fucking tight. I haven't exactly listened to much Rush, but I do know that much, that, you know, you have to like really be on time with the kick foot. In the studio, they make sure of it, by the way, that the bass guitar is following the kick foot and the kick drum and making the rhythm like blend together.
Yes.
And that's kind of the science of the bass guitar, you know. It gives structure to the beat, the kick beat.
Yeah.
And so all these fast drummers, like the bassists that have to, you know, pick up that, they are something special.
They are. Speaking of bassists playing for incredible drummers, what about John Entwistle? What do you think of him?
John Entwistle. Well, I mean, my generation, The Who, you know, like, that's like old school, but they were the first ones, baby. They were the pioneers. And John Entwistle, honestly, The Who was like the first real punk rock band. I mean, the way I see it, like, you know, they kind of pioneered that crazy, you know, anarchic sound. You know, before then there was like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, and that was all like pushing boundaries. But the Who just put it off the edge. They kicked it into overdrive. And that was really John Entwistle, because he was kind of he was pretty much like, you know, he made everything sound that way with his, you know, everything was geared towards Keith Moon's incredible drumming and his insane like bass solos that would go off, you know, wherever.
Yeah, I think if any of you guys want more proof that John Entwistle is like he was one of the best bassists, just listen to Quadrophenia. Listen to Quadrophenia all the way through. He has so many just moments that make you go, whoa, whoa. It's one of the few albums where it has more songs that feature the bass more than it does the guitar. And that's insane, because Pete Townsend is an amazing guitar. Like, Pete Townsend is also up there as like one of the best mainstream guitarists in rock and roll. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Paul McCartney. You gotta talk about him.
I gotta talk about Macca.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know if you've listened to, like, go on YouTube and watch just Paul McCartney's bass and Ringo's drums, and it's like, wow, like, he's actually way better than, like, the first time I watched it, I was like, what? This dude's not just a fucking bass player that's just like singing "I Want to Hold Your Hand." It was really eye-opening to me, because honestly, Paul McCartney was like the real talent that lasted behind the Beatles. Like,
yeah,
you know, John Lennon had higher highs, but for a shorter amount of time. Paul McCartney was more like the real like mainstream like computer like analytical machine that made like the music that the masses like love to hear, and like that's why he's like honestly the most successful Beatle, because like he's just had all that talent, and you could see like all that talent in full display when you like hear these bass lines that he was making when he was like 17, 18, 19. Like, this dude was like mad talent for real. Like, yeah, yesterday. I mean, he wrote that. I mean, so we're talking about a real fucking mastermind of the songwriting craft here.
Really, he really was. I actually saw Paul McCartney back in 2019 at Honda Center. Not Honda Center. It was Dodger Stadium. It was fucking huge. And
I saw him in Cleveland in 2015. That's a different story. I'll tell you all about that.
But it was really cool. Again, you put it back. I was surprised to see, because he plays bass for, except maybe because when he played yesterday in Blackbird, he busted out the acoustic. but he plays bass for every song, and he's going off. But also just it was also a really cool night just because I like to plug this. Ringo Starr came out on stage, and they played together. So I can technically say that I was born in the 21st century, and I have technically seen the Beatles.
Well, what's left of them? Yeah.
What's left of them?
No one's seen the Beatles unless you saw the 4 of them. But yeah. Oh,
so you pulled up Operation
Matt Freeman played one of the greatest bass solos that I've ever listened to on Maxwell Murder, which is like the first track on. Go listen to it if you haven't. It's like the craziest, like 30 seconds of bass guitar you've ever heard in your life. It's criminally underrated. Everybody go listen to Maxwell Murder, because that's Matt Freeman, baby. That's Bay Area all day.
Real
Represent
Real
Matthew Freeman from Operation Ivy and Rancid. That
hell yeah.
I mean, he is really, really good. And like, I don't even need to give an example. Just listen to any song from Rancid. You usually have a really, really bloodthirstily fast, just out of control bass line, just at any point. So yeah, that's what I have to say about him. Also, he dresses really nice sometimes.
What about Fleet?
Well, yeah, there you go. I was waiting for you to bring him up.
I gotta bring up.
You already brought him up, actually.
I'm from Los Angeles, so
there you go.
It's like, it's pretty much implied. Well, I'm from the Los Angeles area. I'm actually from Tustin, California, represent. But I'm from the Los Angeles area, and it's pretty much implied that if you're born in like OC or LA, that you are legally required to listen to the Chili Peppers at least once in your life, or else we will.
They are. I mean,
we will throw you into the ocean off of Balboa Pier.
they are LA's band. I really believe that.
No, they are. I mean, if you ask me, I think the most successful band to come from LA would be the Eagles. That's a story.
Oh, I guess so.
That's a story for another time. But in terms of like what is LA's band, it's either Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. But if you want it, like the band that like embodies LA itself back then and now, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, it's the Chili's.
No, I mean, there's
Lee is their secret weapon, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's not even the way that he plays it, which is already like just under Les Claypool in terms of talent, but also the way he moves, just the way he just goes about his showmanship is on another level. That he's got a serious like case for like best bassist of all time. Honestly,
he pops off. Have you ever seen him live?
Oh, I have not actually.
It really is cool.
But I have seen his live performances on DVDs and on YouTube and on everywhere. And this dude is a showman. Just absolutely from the WWE.
Yeah.
Like he'll have any different kind of costume. The whole band is really.
One time
I'm pretty sure it has something to do with him because he's insane.
One time he didn't even come out with a costume. Woodstock 99, he just fucking went out naked.
Yeah, there you go. You could have done. Hey, the 90s were a cool place. They were a cool time.
Big phones.
You could do that.
Yeah, you could. Well, before we close off bassists, I think it's only right that we talk about. I mean, we're musicians. We're in a scene right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best bassist that you know personally?
Well, I mean, hey, it's my boy Octavius.
Octavius, yeah.
I mean, from my band, of course. Like, I can't. Well, and also Chris. Chris is pretty good too. But like, Octavius is like just outstanding. Just, I feel so proud to be his drummer because he is just that good, and he just brings so much talent to the table that it's like, oh, I can't stand it. I just can't stand it, man. How much talent you have. And it's a great feeling when you're a drummer and you have that bass guitar like that's just completely steady and just would be steady even if you were shit, that's a good feeling to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I feel like I have to say Annika.
Of course.
Well, not even in terms of like I feel like I have to, like
that's your girl, yeah.
Annika is insanely talented because I think she doesn't slap, but she doesn't pick. She only uses her fingers. It's all in her fingers. Like everything that you hear from Closet Monster when you hear them live on the bass, that's just her fingers, and I think that's so incredible. I don't know how she doesn't have like the worst carpal tunnel imaginable, but I think that's really cool. So I feel like I have to say Annika.
Yes,
But
shout out our bass players. Yeah.
All right, let's pick one bassist who is not in our band.
Well, oh wait, we didn't even
Let's go
talk
to
about
agree.
Mike Dirnt yet. I mean,
Oh wait,
Mike Dirnt is kind of like,
yeah,
he's kind of like the guy that you study when you haven't when you want to get really good.
yes,
Because he's like the real guy that you like. Even the way he jumps around is not so much like Flea, but it's like anyone can like study that and just pick it up and just learn to be like a pretty functional bassist, like out like in any band if you just study him.
really.
Like, he's like a really great starter bass guitarist, and I think everyone I know like all started out like practicing Longview
Yeah,
before they even like heard of the bass guitar.
that bass it's just so iconic.
Yeah, everyone knows it, and it's just so you just pick it up, and it's like that's you just feel like a rock star when you actually like get it.
Uh-huh.
And you know, everyone when they pick up the bass, you know, he is also a really underrated bass line writer, because like even in '92 in Kerplunk, no one knows. Like, that's a beautiful bass line. Beautiful. Like, no one talks about that bass line. It's criminal because it's like one of his best bass like rhythmic lines that just goes through the entire song. It's just so beautiful. I can't recommend it enough. It's called No One Knows.
He's
Yeah, he just writes stuff like that. He's just really good. Really good guy too.
Mm-hmm.
I met him. He's really good. One more bass player that I wanted to talk about. James Jamerson, from Motown, because that era really opened up the bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Marvin Gaye, that's him on the bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, you know, this is old school, you know, it's real Motown funk.
Motown can't be forgotten. Learn your history.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff that really expanded like bass players of all ilks, and like really it just sounds really good.
It does.
You know, it just really hits me right here. I'm pounding my heart right now. It really just gets you. That kind of funk, you know, hip hop, just old early Motown. It just it's got soul, man.
It does. One last bass player I'd like to talk about before moving to guitarist is actually another friend of ours. It's Harley from the Jellyfish Method.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. He's
a cool cat.
That guy is a cool cat. He is a great bass player. I think what makes him as great as he is just his control. His control, because he plays fast. And I know a lot of other people do, but Harley like just fucking goes. If you watch his hand, it's so calm. He's so controlled over every move he makes. It's almost kind of like angelic in a sense, which is fun because, you know, they're playing like really fast stuff. Also because he jumps around so much.
Yeah, they're really stage presence.
They move around so much, and it's really great. I combine cool and crazy. Cruel.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. They play really fast, and they just jump around like wild fucking... It's really fun.
It is.
It's really fun to watch.
All right, let's move into... Want to talk about guitarists now?
Okay.
This is a bit... Now...
Sorry if we never talked about your favorite. We might do like a Bass Players 2 down the line. But
because
yeah, let's move on to guitarists now.
This entire thing is completely just up to opinion, because it's always opinion about who's your favorite or like who's the best. But in terms of guitar playing, there are some players where I think it's just like objective fact.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to say that they were some of the best and they were some of the most influential.
Of course.
And I feel like we have to start with talking about Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. Of course.
He was my first like virtuistic guitar hero. My dad took me to a NAMM show when I was really young, and we walked around from all the booths, and we went to one booth, and it was for like the line, you know, the Eddie Van Halen amps and the guitars, but they had like an actual Frankenstrat there that he had played.
Yeah.
And me being like 8 years old, you know, I tried to pick it up and I almost fucking dropped the thing. And it was really cool. But that's just a fun little tangent about how I first found out about Eddie Van Halen. What is there to be said that hasn't been said about him? He revolutionized the tapping method, which is still used. It's my favorite move to do on guitar. It's that cool kind of electronic, futuristic sound that you can't make on like a synthesizer or something. There's something so unique about the tapping, especially when he does it. Like there's something so unique. He was just one of the best. And
that's old school. I mean, Eddie Van Halen, that's like, you know, Bill and Ted, like going up to like the Circle K and going, "Hey, you're just like Eddie Van Halen." Like that's a long time. Like, I mean, we're gonna have a lot of like old school guitarists because like honestly, that's like when the best like
that's when the groundwork was laid.
Yeah,
for not even just regular rock and roll, but just all subgenres like tapping. I hear so many guitarists in metal use the tap method because it works so well. It makes that faster, more aggressive kind of sound. It's more electrifying. It's just, yeah. Well then.
One of my favorites is kind of like not in terms of like, you know, shredding per se, but like Chuck Berry.
Oh my
like
gosh.
really like he honestly is like the godfather of rock music. You know, it just in general, like Chuck Berry's like the songs that he did, like, and just the fact that he was black, like it had just the right amount of edge that, you know, all the kids, they just needed to have it. You know, when you have like I'm sure we've all seen those videos of like old classic 50s propaganda, like rock and roll will melt your brains and make you want to date a black dude, you know, and like just stuff like that. That was Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry brought that out. That makes him an honorary punk rocker in my opinion. Like the way go Johnny go, like, you know, and just the way that the guitar moves, like kind of like how video games like back in like the 2000s were like they had like 32-bit pixels, but at the time they were like mind-boggling to a point that you don't even understand how awesome it was back in the day. Like I would want, like, I want to feel that the way people, you know, felt what you know Chuck Berry's guitar sounded like, because at the time nobody had ever, like, we're kind of desensitized to like shredding guitars right now because we're zoomies. Like we were born in like, you know, 90s 2000s, but like people back then had no idea like what rock and roll was, and the first time it hits your ears it's like it's, you can't describe it because the feeling is just so raw and intense. And that was why Elvis got so big, and that's why Chuck Berry to me, like, cuz he was the first in that line of like shredding rock and roll, like at a time when nobody knew exactly what it was or nobody could define it. It was just rock and roll. It made you move. It made you horny. It made you want to dance with someone from a different race because it was just that powerful, you know, that kind of feeling. So in that way, Chuck Berry is like a big, like, Big time hero.
I think Bruce Springsteen kind of said that best when he talked about just the feeling of rock and roll that Chuck Berry produced. He wasn't speaking about Chuck Berry specifically, but he said a quote that kind of summarized that. It's from Springsteen on Broadway, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that, go watch it. If you are a musician, not even if you just like rock and roll, if you are a musician, go watch it. It's one of the coolest things and just one of the most like heartwarming things I think you will hear. Just him telling his story about how he made it. And he says it was fun. It was just the first time, like the real kind of fun that you felt that you can't feel anywhere else. It made you want to feel liberated, like it was sexual liberation. It was a feeling of sexual liberation.
Yes.
Liberation of
Say it again, brother.
Of feeling like you're being put down in this world. Anything. It was just fun.
Man.
Now it's time to talk. I want to do this really quick because if I don't.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Because if I don't talk about him now, I'm going to explode.
Go ahead.
My idol, that is Slash.
Slash. I love that hat. I love that look, and of course he shreds. Yeah, he's a WWE villain for sure.
He is.
I really.
He totally fucking is.
Yeah. Also had a great South Park episode.
He did. I saw this man do a handstand, and the hat didn't come off. He was upside down. It was fucking insane.
Oh man, he's actually called Saul Hudson. I never knew that.
His name is Saul Hudson.
His name is Saul Hudson.
He was born in British. He's not British. I mean, he technically is, but not really. Man's an LA dude full through.
Is that all you wanted to talk about Slash?
I'll make it quick because I know I said a bit about Slash in the last one.
No, that's right, you did. Yeah, never mind.
I'll make it quick. Slash is will always be my favorite guitar player because he is the guitarist that changed my life. He's the one who made me want to continue picking up the guitar and playing it. The person who made me want to pick up the guitar was Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi, who will always be my second guitar hero. But Slash will always be my favorite for really like hammering the home of just if you want to do it, go for it. And just remember that I'll always have that image of that 9-minute guitar solo forever burned into my retinas. So
there you go. Yeah, John Frusciante.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You could shred just any era. And honestly, the Chili's need him, but he also needs the Chili's.
He does.
Every, having that awesome supporting cast around him, it just makes him like, it's like his guitar solos are on acid and mushrooms, and they just take off in any given song, like Californication or
Danny California.
Any song like that. Like he just, like Under the Bridge, like the guitar just takes on a life of its own,
It does. It really does. Like, it kind of starts out playing like a simple riff, then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, where are we going? Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah, like Snow, like he just finds like, it's just a gift for him, I guess. He just finds like really cool, like, guitar solos that can turn into riffs at any given moment that just keep your attention, Yeah. Oh, and speaking of that, kind of like how Ringo Starr is like the most simple of the big drummers, I think Kurt Cobain really, really like his style was not shredding.
No.
But it took on, like, it was so unique. Like, it took on a life of its own. It was like, wow, this sounds awesome.
It
does, and he's not shredding at all. It was kind of like like Nirvana was the anti-hair metal band at the time. Kurt Cobain is the guitar soloist. Because, like, all his solos are just,
they're simple.
Like, you can do it, But it's like, the songwriting was so good that, just the simplest guitar solo just works. you know, and that doesn't work for every band, but it certainly did in his case. I mean, and the fact that he was left-handed, that's totally based. That's totally like, you know, it makes him unique, puts him on the spotlight. Also, he was really pretty.
He was.
Yeah, like
we actually just passed the what year anniversary of it?
117th.
No, well, April 4th was the day he passed away.
Damn. That's like, there's like a whole universe where he didn't die, and it's like now he's, you know, making Super Bowl commercials.
I cannot imagine a world where Kurt Cobain does something in the mainstream. Like, he'll always be, like, have music in the mainstream, but I think himself, if he was still alive, he would just want to stay out of that spotlight.
Well, it depends. Either he would have gone one direction or another. Honestly, he had that. He always had that like mindset of, yeah, I just want to be left alone. I don't give a fuck about this. But it also, like, the fact that he did Nirvana kind of like, yeah, like he will like do it for a time. He will he'll go along with this corporate nonsense that we go through our entire lives. Are you ready? Are you ready for your whole life to be this corporate dystopian nightmare?
God damn it.
Well, in any case, we're not talking about that. We're talking about his guitar playing, which honestly I love. I love simple and I love meaningful, you know? And that's what Kurt Cobain brought. He brought simple and he brought effective, meaningful, fluttery feelings to my brain, and I love it. I love him for it.
Yeah. We got next.
I love Prince, but I haven't exactly listened to a lot of him.
Prince is...
But what I have is, like, he's absolutely insane.
There is footage. It's of him performing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame of While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah.
Insane.
Absolutely.
So fucking insane.
Yeah. Insane talent on every instrument, actually. Not just guitar. Even though guitar was his best. He's just an insane musician.
He could sing.
Period.
He played, I think, all the instruments on his first record.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Alright, who are like some... Oh, wait. I feel like we need to talk about Hendrix.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, honestly, what can you say other than, like, this dude played the guitar so hard that it exploded in his hands? I mean, there you go. Jimi Hendrix. He made guitars die by playing them. Next.
Hendrix was the embodiment of just there you go. That was it.
He was the embodiment. That was Jimi Hendrix. You don't have to say anything else.
A guitar player. It was almost like he was one of the first instrumentalists who played guitar where it felt like the instrument was part of him. Like, you couldn't separate the two. Yeah. Like, you could separate like Prince from the guitar. You can even make the argument you could separate Eddie Van Halen from the guitar because he was a songwriter first and foremost.
Yeah, well, a lot of them were.
You can't separate Hendrix from the guitar. He was the guy who just laid the groundwork for how we view what the electric guitar should sound like. And
yeah, honestly, it's insane, like, the way he played. And I know we say that for, like, everyone on this list, but honestly, Jimi Hendrix was the first, like, what the fuck is this? This is insane. What is he doing to that guitar? It's exploding in his hands. Like, he was the first of that ilk. And he kind of normalized that. Like, shredding until, like, the strings broke. Like, honestly, like, hey, respect for that. Because, like, most guitars need to die at some point. And, like, having them explode is a good way for them to go.
Yeah. All guitars gotta. Yeah. So
Oh, Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page
Yeah.
just made just awesome riffs that
He
you
did.
just play to.
The riff
like,
master.
Like rock and roll, like, and like the immigrant songs.
Good times, bad times.
Yeah, just stuff like that. You just, I can just sit in my car and just hear him just. It's just yeah. It wasn't even like Led Zeppelin really that like. So much as it was like John Bonham just going insane, and also like everyone was just in their element in that band, and Jimmy Page was just perfect because like, I mean, I don't even think he screwed up once.
He didn't.
In his entire career, because he's just that good.
So
he's just that tight.
Yes.
Wait. One more. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No, there's like a couple more we got.
Well,
let's do like 2 or 3 more.
We have to do like a lightning round at the end of this. But Stevie Ray Vaughan actually is like
the blues man, dude.
Just like blues stuff. It's just that feeling is like really unique and like really it hits me really. You just love to hear it. Like you just love to get the guitar sound like that. Oh man, what did he? Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's Pride and Joy. Like the houses are rocking. Like just stuff like that. Like you just made that guitar like sing so well. It's like the guitar was a vocal cord, and he just I love it. I love that. I love listening to Stevie Ray Vaughan. Oh, by the way, I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan get inducted to the Hall of Fame, and all of his family and all Gary Clark Jr. was there to support him.
Hell yeah!
And oh man, it was like insane. Like just watching that because it was like respect, you earned it, sir.
Absolutely.
It's too bad he died, but.
There are 2 more guitarists. Oh god. Spice kicking it again.
Oh, you're still eating those spicy noodles.
I still am. Dude.
Wow. I didn't think you'd be able to finish those. Look at you.
Let's go.
There
are 2 more mainstream guitarists I want to talk about who influenced me, and also there's 2 guitarists in our scene that I would also like to mention. First one is The Edge from U2. It's very underrated.
Underrated name. The Edge.
Dude, it's so badass.
Not Edge from WWE, mind you.
No, The Edge basically experimented so much with the guitar. He always just made he pushed the boundaries of what can a guitar sound like. Granted, his playing, a lot of people can criticize it because they don't think it's that anything extraordinary. I think it is. I think he is a great player. He has some amazing solos, some underrated solos. Pride is one of them, In the Name of Love. But just his work in the studio with what he can make a guitar sound like and also try to mimic that sound live, that's to be commended. And with that, we're going to transition to Tom Morello.
Oh, I love Tom Morello.
Tom Morello also does stuff like that, but he does it like, bro, he takes the fucking piss. He does whatever he can just to make the fucking craziest balls to the wall sounds a guitar can make.
And I love the way his strings just are like really long, kind of like long fingernails. He just keeps them that way, and it's just the cherry on top, I just love when a guitarist has like a thing that like, that's them. He has long unkempt strings on his guitar.
He does. All right. You want to talk about some of our local guitar players?
Yeah. Who you got? Who's your goat?
Colton from Van Gogh's Ear. Colton is
he's really good.
The best guitar player I know. It's just incredible to think that I am friends with this guy. I've seen him play at least 8 or 10 shows. Every time he blows my mind with just how great a guitar player he is.
Yeah.
He's got that grunge, just kind of chugging sound that Kurt Cobain brought, but he mixes it in with like the shredding of someone like Randy Rhoads or someone. He is so cool. And also he does that while singing. He has one of the most unique vocals in metal, in my opinion. And yeah, he is the best guitar player that I know. Also, he writes fucking amazing riffs.
Yeah, he does.
Next up would probably be Jackson from Straight Jacket.
Oh, he's nothing but pure talent.
Yeah. that guy is... If you want proof, listen to Executioner's Daughter.
Just listen to Straight Jacket, period.
Yeah.
They're just great.
This is a Straight Jacket
This is
fan
a Straight
club.
Jacket podcast now.
Yeah. No, Jackson has a just this distinct voice when he sings, but also he just writes these really cool licks, and he does these awesome rhythms. He nails the pickups every time, dude. Those are my two.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, this is like you keep asking me, so I'm just gonna keep shilling like my band, Dead End Job, my members. Kyle DeWitt, like easy.
Kyle,
like,
oh my gosh.
And also from Failsafe. Like, this dude is honestly the most talented guitar player I've ever worked with. He is like nothing but raw, like he just bleeds pop punk like guitar solos like every day. And he's given so much like direction to my band Dead End Job that it's like this dude like he just sees it like a chess game in his brain. He just sees guitars. He just sees guitar solos, how this could work. He's just constantly working on that. And it's insane to me to be working with someone like that. Like, he's just a machine, you know? And, like, all you kids who were too young for Failsafe, who didn't get to see them, like, I'm sorry for you.
Rip.
Come see Dead End Job, because he is absolutely the best guitarist in this scene.
I saw Failsafe's last show. Suck it. I'm giving you guys the fingers. You can't sell.
Yeah, he's that good. You have to come, like, all over to see him, because he's just that damn good. Okay?
Just go see Dead End Job, period.
Chill over. Like, shameless plug.
No, it's not. I mean, because I agree. Kyle is... Yeah, he's amazing. Also, yeah, just go see Dead End Job. For the love of God, go see Dead End Job.
Go see him.
Is there any other ones?
No, that's it. That's it for me. Well, I guess I should talk about Kirk Hammett, right?
Okay, yeah, I feel like that's a good one to close off with.
I mean, Kirk Hammett is like, you know, he's the master of puppets guy. And honestly, like, Metallica had so many, like, they just knew exactly from Kill 'Em All to the Black Album. They just knew exactly what people wanted to hear and evolved their band to just the right point where it's like, you know, they were the Master of Puppets band, and now they're the Enter Sandman band. Now they're doing like short riffs that, like, you know, oh my God, all general audiences like around the world absolutely needed to hear. That was all Kirk Hammett.
It was. He was the first like guitarist from just that gave us the thrash sound. He was the thrash guitarist that everyone wanted to be. He's basically kind of rewrote the book for what metal riffs and guitar solos should be like. And it's kind of what we think of them now. It's just like really fast, really fucking hard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He was the first for that. Like,
and he went to high school in Dianza. So, like, just
he did.
Just right below Richmond. Like, he's a Bay Area boy, just like us.
He was the original guitar player for Exodus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Look at that.
We got two of them. We got Exodus and Metallica. Bay's got two. Let's go.
Let's go.
And Death Angel. That's three.
Yeah.
Death Angel. Only good thing to come out of Daly City. Got him.
We should probably talk about like Brian May and Beck, but like I don't really.
I feel like we should, but I feel like we should save them. There's so many.
We should have like Guitarists Part 2.
I think we are. I think we're gonna also have a bassist part 2 as well.
Yeah.
But that's it. We're gonna call it for this one.
Alrighty.
Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any of personal favorite guitar players or any disagreements or agreements, or if you just want to leave the stupidest comment known to man, go ahead and do that. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening.
All stupid comments are appreciated.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Do we have a closing do we have like a thing we say?
This is TBBAM. Bye.
This is TBBAM. You've been bammed.